I haven't had a really positive experience with some of my children. I'm just going in like this is about Tony McKelty and babies, you know.
I'm hoping that them seeing Kody and I and our smiles and like our encouragement will help them to realize that I'm not the bad guy.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, November 13th, 2023. I hope all of you had a wonderful day. Sister Wives, season 18, episode 14. Wow, what a doozy. Okay, so this episode was filled with a lot of filler, a lot of the same stuff that Mary was talking about with her relationship. A lot of discussions between Christine and Janelle about Kody and Janelle's relationship. And again, after weeks, literal weeks of no Robyn, no tears, nothing, Robyn makes very, very, very limited appearances in this episode, though her name is brought up several times. And some of the content has to do with Kody and issues with his kids. There's also discussion about how things were not ever the same after Robyn joined the family. Family traditions changed between Janelle and Christine. But it was in the very beginning of the episode, which felt very awkward because McKelty had a gender reveal party for her twins. The episode was filmed, more than a year ago before she had the boys. And she had the boys, and obviously we learn in this episode she's having maternal boys. There was a lot of buildup in that they kept talking about this gender reveal being a big deal because it was the first time everyone was together. Christine was concerned that Garrison and Gabriel may not show up. Gabriel showed up, Garrison did not. And Kody was nervous about being in a space with his kids. Of the Robyn and Kody couplage, which Janelle said they're a couple, it was only Robyn that was worried about her appearance and what people thought of her. Kody didn't seem to care what people thought of him. He only just seemed to care that they still had contempt thrown at him and were disrespecting him. But it was Robyn that didn't want to look like the bad guy. And I thought that was a little bit interesting. And then it was after that she had her daughters defend her, which was incredibly awkward because not only were they brought on for this episode to defend their mom, they weren't even at the gender reveal. What a mess. Let's dive into the topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click on the bell so you never miss a video. In the very beginning of this video, you saw that Robyn said that she hoped being a part of this Zoom call, which, I don't know if you guys know about Zoom, but you can actually turn off your camera. You don't even have to look at the other people. You can change how you view people in your gallery. So theoretically, they could have just made it so they don't have to see any of them. But anyways, she was worried about, wanting them to see that she's not the bad guy. Even though in the last text exchange, she kind of was the bad guy, blew everything up out of proportion. So she's hoping to repair her image. And that's really all she says. And then Aurora comes on and says this.
And our encouragement will help them to realize that I'm not the bad guy. I wanted to speak up on behalf of my mom and all the efforts that she's made. And no matter what anyone believes or feels, the truth is that she's been one of the biggest, if not the biggest cheerleader for the good healthy relationships and correspondence between dad and the kids and dad and the other wives.
Something really rubbed me the wrong way about this because during this gender reveal, theoretically, the girls, Brianna and Aurora, could have been logged in on their phones or gone down into a basement, looked at their laptops to be a part of this. And they didn't join this event, even though there was no hostility between the siblings and Aurora and Brianna. But they didn't even go. So what I thought didn't sit well with me here is that, first of all, Aurora does not look at all engaged or enthusiastic about sticking up for her mom. She looks, at least to me, like she has no energy. She looks like she's almost reading a script. She sounds like she's almost reading a script because she said between correspondence between my dad and his kids. Correspondence. It's a very formal word that I don't know a lot of 20-year-olds would use for discussing a father reaching out to his kids. And then she's supposed to be a champion for his correspondence between him and his wives. And I don't know if Aurora is aware that Kody doesn't have any other wives at this point. It's only Kody and Robyn. Her affect, her emotions are very flat. She doesn't appear happy, engaged, enthusiastic about sticking up for her mom. She appears depressed, downtrodden, and scripted, robotic. I don't believe, in my opinion, that Aurora is doing this because she wants to stick up for her mom. I feel like Kody and Robyn are using their combined kids together as a way to like help build their image back up. It feels very much like damage control. Like, because Robyn's not getting a good edit by the show and most of the family doesn't like her, whether they should choose not to like her or not is another story, when it's Kody, the dad, that made the decision to spend all of his time with Robyn. Regardless if you don't like Robyn or not, in the world of polygamy, the man gets to decide what the man gets to decide. And Kody wanted to be with Robyn because everything that was going on in their bedroom was apparently awesome sauce, and that's all he wanted. At the end of the day, the blame should go on Kody. She could very well have had bad interactions with the kids, but it's Kody that's pit all of them against each other. So I'm not a huge fan of Robyn, but I also can recognize that even though she has manipulative tendencies and she can get in the middle of things and really care about her appearance and her image, it's ultimately Kody as the quote unquote patriarch that makes the decisions on whether this works or doesn't work within the family. So anyways, everything goes on without a hitch. And at the end of it, we find out, they're having 2 boys and everyone's happy about it. And Kody makes this really strange comment about his children and his relationship with Robyn that is so narcissistic and so, in my opinion, horrible.
Someday our family civil war may end, and then that contempt, we can deal with it. And Robyn and I are going to be like this. You're not going to separate us. They want their dad, but they don't want Robyn. That's not going to work. Robyn and I are going to be like this, and we're going to work this out. And that's just the relationship we're going to be in.
The problem with Kody saying that Robyn and him are going to be like this, they're just going to work it out, and that's just the way it's going to be, and that's what it is not what his commitment was to his family. And it wasn't what his commitment was to his other women, and certainly wasn't the commitment he had made to his other children. And I don't necessarily think it's about that they don't like Robyn. It's the fact that they very might well not like Robyn. Listen, that could very well be the case. But it's the fact that they had to deal with the inequities in their lives when it came to their dad. They felt like they had been neglected. They felt like they didn't get the time, the resources, or the attention from their dad once Robyn came into the picture. Gabriel, I think, was 8 years old by that point, and that's going to be a deep pain when an 8-year-old is used to a dad being around all the time. And by no means is he there all the time, because he had 3 women in his life, but they all lived under one home, and so he got to see his dad a lot more. Same with Garrison. Same with the other kids that have no relationship with him, or Maddie, Logan, Hunter. It has nothing to do with the fact that he and Robyn are going to be like this. It's that he and Robyn have been like that since the beginning. And I think it would be hard for the kids to unravel all of that pain and be like, yeah, okay, Dad, we're just going to accept you now, even though you've been rejecting us for 15 years. And now we're just going to accept the fact that you and Robyn are going to be together. Kody doesn't really seem to understand or even care to understand that the disconnect, I think, in this family has not, it's only partially about Robyn. It's more about, they were in a plural family, and we don't agree with plural marriage here. We don't agree with polygamy, clearly, but the inequities were apparent for all viewers. Everyone that has watched the show from the beginning has seen the disparities between the attention that Robyn would receive and the attention that the other women received, to the gifts, the accolades, and the resources that were provided to Robyn's kids, to the other resources that the other kids got. It just wasn't comparable. Of all of the other women who bore him 6 children each, he never, ever considered ever making either one of those women his legal wife. But when it came to Robyn, who he wanted control over and agreed, like, didn't want another man having control over her kids, he adopted them, became her legal husband, something he never would have done for Janelle or for Christine. When Kody caused or unsupervised or failed to supervise Dayton on an ATV and he got into an accident, he took steps to pay off the debt for that hospitalization. He paid for the surgeries. He provided health insurance for Robyn's kids. Health insurance he never provided for Christine. When Christine had a surgery for her daughter Isabel scheduled, one that Kody had put off for years and years, making her suffer through incredible pain, he didn't help pay for that. She paid for it all on her own. She had to fundraise through selling LuLaRoe, and then she found an extremely high deductible insurance plan, which had, I think she said on Instagram once, was $50,000, of which Kody paid none of it. And Kody then didn't even show up to the surgery because he said he couldn't travel because he couldn't be away from the tender age kids for that long, which in my estimation would have been he couldn't get away from Robyn's areas of intimacy. He just is, in my opinion, addicted to that. And that has trumped all other aspects of his life, all the other areas of his life. And so he can't be there for Isabel. When it comes to the boys, even though Dayton struggled to comply with the rules, they moved Dayton out into an RV, right? There were disagreements between Dayton and Kody and Robyn. We never saw those disagreements on the show. Dayton didn't want to comply with the COVID rules the same way that Gabriel and Garrison didn't. They moved him into an RV. If you recall, Gabriel lived in a mother-in-law apartment off the side of Janelle's house, separate entrance, and she didn't even see him. And Kody couldn't handle that even. They did effectively the same thing, and Garrison even moved into an RV of his own, and Kody thought that that was unreasonable, but it was okay for Dayton to do that, right? Not to mention they moved Dayton into an RV on their driveway. Like, what? None of that makes it onto the show at all, by the way. Just saying. So you have all of these different facets here, and we still never see what happens at Robyn's house. We don't see how the kids are treated. We don't see anything about their relationship. We don't see any of the drama that happens between them. There's all these comments that are made by Kody and Robyn this season about how things are tense in their marriage. We've seen none of that. There could have been plenty of airtime and footage of the two of them arguing, and fans probably would have watched it, but they don't film their relationship. Kody has all the other women working, and then Robyn stays home. She's been a kept woman, and that's another problem. He says, we're going to be like this. Well, are you going to be like this, Kody? Because Robyn has been a kept woman this whole time. She's barely had to work on the show. She's gotten all of your money. You've been showering her with gifts. When it comes to homes, Janelle doesn't have a home. She doesn't have any assets in her name. She doesn't have anything to show for herself. Janelle gave her down payment for her home to Robyn so that Robyn and Kody could have a house. Mary gave money to them so that they could have a house. She has a 4,500 square foot home and Janelle lives in an apartment. Again, another inequity. You could go throughout the years and find a million different examples of why his kids don't want to speak to him. And it's not just because they don't like Robyn. It's because Robyn to them represents the end of their relationship with their father. And certainly Robyn doesn't make things any easier. She is certainly manipulative. She is certainly narcissistic. And she is certainly using her own daughters to help her repair her own damaged image that she caused herself. Kody and Robyn's kids, I always am worried about them. Frankly, I'm always worried about how controlled they are, how little access they have to the world, how even in an opportunity like Mykelti's gender reveal, even in a moment like this, they still could not allow those girls to be on this. I mean, there's no olive branches extended. Robyn's the one that caused the whole issue with the gift exchange because she wanted to exert her power, her head wife, her whatever, which happens in polygamy all the time. And then I'm playing the victim and I'm not the bad guy. I think the reason why they don't want anything to do with Kody and Robyn is that Robyn always plays the victim. Robyn never takes accountability or responsibility for anything that she does. Kody always picks her. And then even in this moment, he's pitting them against each other. He's saying, I'm going to always be like this with Robyn. I'm going to always pick her. He's going to pick her over his children that he fathered, that he had he has 18 kids. 15 of those are biologically his own. He is going to discount and get rid of, 11 biological children because he and Robyn are going to be like this? That's just, no wonder they don't want anything to do with him. Because there's no way for them to actually express how they feel and Kody to hear them, because he won't hear them, because he won't take responsibility, because it's not his fault. And he's not saying it on the show that he's shunning them because they're not obeying him and they're not doing what he wants them to do. Kody's the one that's caused all of this problems, all of it. And he's like, no, they don't want anything to do with Robyn. Well, Kody, I think it's not just that they don't want anything to do with Robyn. They also don't want anything to do with you. I'm pretty sure that it was Janelle that said a couple weeks ago that the reason why Maddie didn't want to see her father was because of his unpredictable behavior and the fact that she didn't know who she was going to get and she didn't recognize who he was. Kody's behavior, his hostility, and his volatility drove his family away, and his narcissism. But whatever, Kody, it's because of Robyn and the kids not liking her. No, it's easier to blame Robyn than it is to take responsibility. And again, it just gives the kids another reason not to like her. Do you see how he did that? Do you see how he's triangulating all of them? Robyn triangulates her kids from all the other kids. Kody triangulates Robyn from everyone else. And the two of them are on an island together, and the whole online world that watches this series cannot handle either one of them. And they may be the most despised reality television stars in the moment. We have another episode coming up about Sister Wives, and then later this week, get prepared, we're going to dive into the Twin Flames universe. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.